Greetings, gang. John Stamos here, the Renaissance Garden Guy. Here in my garden in Michiana Shores, hardiness zone 5B6A. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to fix plants, rhizomatous plants that spread by rhizome, how to pop them up without staking them after they flop in the rain. Had a big heavy rain here a couple days ago, so some of my plants, which spread by rhizomes, ended up flopping over some of the stems, because what happens is those rhizomes, particularly when they're fairly new, they don't root super deeply. So if they're compromised by heavy rain, those stems will flop. So I'm going to just show you really quick how I take care of this without using stakes. And periodically you have to use stakes for certain things, plants that spread with stolons or rhizomes, or plants that just get bigger with a bigger root ball. Sometimes you do have to use stakes. But with these rhizomatous plants, I try not to. Hate sticking a bunch of sticks in the ground. So I'm going to show you what I do to take care of it. And we'll be back in a quick second with my methodology. Take only a couple minutes. Okay, guys, so what we're going to work on today is supporting a rhizomatous plant whose aerial stem is flopped because of rain. And I'm going to use bee balm as an example, Monarda. So I had a majorly heavy rain here a couple of days ago, and one of my Monarda plants, which they are spreading via rhizomes, kind of flopped over. And remember, those rhizomatous roots, when they initially start to root, they're not terribly deep. So any kind of pressure, any kind of aerial pressure like rain, can make a stem flop. So I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that those stems stay erect and straight and don't flop. And I want to do it without sticking a bunch of stakes in the ground, so my garden doesn't look like a damn porcupine. So I'm going to show you the plant, I'm going to show you the stuff that I use, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Only going to take a couple minutes. So pardon my shadow here, but here's the plant, Monarda. You can see those rhizomatous roots down there, and they're not terribly deep. The stem, a rhizome is basically a stem, grows either right below the soil level or at the soil level, and it's got nodes. It's got nodes that it's kind of a split personality node. The bottom of the nodes will root. The bottom of a particular node will root, and the top will shoot up aerial stems and leaves and that kind of thing. So you can see this thing is flopping. So I'm going to show you what I use, get all my stuff together, and do it really quick. Won't take very long. All right, so what I have here, I'm going to use a couple of types of repellent, a systemic rodent repellent, and moles, voles, chipmunks. And moles aren't rodents, but anything that likes to dig and burrow, this stuff will work. The systemic repellent will keep herbivorous pests like voles and chipmunks from eating the plants, and then the general repellent, which saturates the soil, will keep things from digging in the soil. Nasty, stinky stuff, castor oil based. This is hot pepper based. And then I'm going to use some dirt and some additional mulch, and that's how we're going to do this. Okay, first things first, I got a crap bucket here. I use this to pick up all, if I'm going to be, repotting or rebedding rather, planting. You got to get some of the old stuff out of the way. Mulch in particular. I'll tell you right now, you could read a couple of really good articles on my website. One is about how rhizomatous and stoloniferous plants spread. It's called Naturalizing Perennials in the Garden Scheme, and it's on the Renaissance Garden Guy website, renaissancegardenguy.com. Again, naturalizing perennials in the garden scheme. Terrific article, explains the difference between stolons and rhizomes. But the other thing that I want to point out is that you want to move some of this mulch out of the way, because what mulch does is it sort of breaks down into a compost sort of thing. There are particular microorganisms that will help in that breakdown process. That what they do is they rob the soil at the interface of the mulch and the soil. They rob it of nitrogen. These microorganisms use the nitrogen, and plants love nitrogen. So rather than keeping a bunch of mulch around and just throwing dirt over it, I get it out of the way. So you can see, as we get a little bit closer, you can see those roots at the base of this stem. So what I'm going to do is support this stem by using more dirt and more mulch. Real easy. Okay, gang, first things first. Got this systemic repellent. I've written about this stuff before on the website. We got a couple of several articles where I cite a few different repellents. One is the 10 best burrowing animal repellents. This is a systemic repellent. The plant absorbs this into its system. And you know, if voles and moles and chipmunks and things like that are a problem in your area, I suggest you pre-treat before you start doing any kind of soil amending or any kind of structural work where you're going to be adding more soil and mulch. Just put this stuff down. Also, protect your plants from voles and chipmunks. On the website is a terrific article. Talk about how I do that. Keep my plants safe from these little pests. Okay, so I got some systemic stuff down there now. I also threw a handful of the regular ground repellent, the stuff that's castor oil based, saturates the ground, keeps guys that like to dig from digging. And I go heavy with this stuff because I live in the forest, and voles and moles and chipmunks are a massive problem. So, step one, that's done, partially. Now the next thing I'm going to do, again, no stakes. But you can see how these roots are wanting to grab onto something and you know, root down and keep the stem vertical. So I'm going to add more dirt right around the base of the stem, sort of behind it to prop it up. You can see it's already improved. See how it's propped up, vertical. Pretty good. Pat it down a little bit more. Now, this little pile of dirt is an appealing looking target for moles and voles and chipmunks. So I'm going to throw some more repellent down. I mean, nothing looks better to a vole or a mole or a chipmunk than a pile of new dirt. It's like a pile of crap to a fly. So that's pretty well set up right now with dirt and two types of repellent. You got the systemic repellent down, and now also the burrowing repellent, the soil amending repellent. And now you can see how vertically erect the stem is. Finally, make everything look good. Throw some mulch, and it also adds additional support, keeps the stem from flopping back down. And we're going to get this all squared away. This bee balm plant is going to be very happy. These things grow like crazy. Periodically, I got to cut some back or pull some out because they'll want to take over. But they really flower beautifully in the summer, and it's really an attractive plant. So now we got this big pile of supportive mulch and dirt, and I will top it all off with more repellent. Now typically I use gloves. I'm not doing that right now because I'm too lazy to go and get them, but I use gloves because this stuff is nasty, particularly this systemic repellent. I mean, it's capsaicin based. It's hot pepper. You get this stuff in your eyes or your mouth, you're not going to be a happy camper. Okay, here's the soil amending repellent. And right now, this pile, if I didn't treat it with this stuff, like I said, would be incredibly appetizing and appealing to little garden critters. But now I've got this nice mound. The stem is supported. There's soil for those roots to kind of root down in. And again, it's providing structural support for the stem. And gang, that's going to be about it for this video. Hope it was helpful. Hope you liked it. And I'm going to stick my hand in here and wave goodbye. And thanks for everything, guys. And we'll see you next time on the Renaissance Garden Guy YouTube channel. Please remember to subscribe. And please remember to visit the website. There's tons and tons of great stuff on the website. Not just gardening, all sorts of original works and book reviews and everything else. Kind of a terrific site to visit if you want to check out a lot of diverse content. Got a lot of great contributors, writers, guest writers, all that stuff. For now, John G. Stamos, the Renaissance Garden Guy, over and out.